Kenny Omega news broke. I think it was Friday, or excuse me,
Something like that.
it was a day. It was Thursday.
Late in
Uh,
the week, yeah.
so like he had a segment with Chris Jericho that when Big Bill and Ricky Starks, it did not go well. It
It
like
it was
I
it was something.
it was like I thought there were parts of it that was funny, but I was like, "Yo,
Same.
what is wrong?" Like here, like it just seemed like they sent them out there with no plan, and then
Right.
it was like, "Well, I don't know what this is all about or why this is going on like this," and I was just like, "Wow, like something's not right here." Like, and it was like, I don't know what was going on. News came out, yeah, Kenny Omega has diverticulitis, and I was just like, "Fuck!" Like first, he sends a tweet out, basically announces that he's out indefinitely, doesn't know when he's returning. He's from a hospital bed. He looks like he's been up for a really long time. Um, and I saw this, and I was just like, at first there was no diagnosis, and then the first thing I saw was like the doctors caught it early, and I was like, cancer? Like I was like
Mm,
immediately like, you know, assuming the worst or whatever. And I heard the
yeah.
diverticulitis thing, and I was still just like heart sunk, like
Hmm.
just like I don't really know too much about diverticulitis except that Brock
Right.
Lesnar had it.
Right. And that's
Um,
what most wrestling fans know it as like it fucked Brock Lesnar really bad for a long time. So people thought, or so a lot of people initial thoughts are the wrestling fans are like, oh shit, that's the shit that Brock was out for a while, for a minute. This fucked him up. And like, is that potentially like another long hiatus for Kenny Omega?
yeah. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, wow. Like, and then this is like fresh off. He wrestled a match against Ethan Page last week. Uh, kind of under these conditions or whatever or symptoms. Uh, soldier through anyway. Made the next town. He went out there and like I don't know if like he was being. Worked on or anything like that. He had any side effects because he sounded a little loopy in the ring. Um,
Mm.
but I was just really sad, man, and it was just like I hope that like my favorite wrestler ever didn't just get like the rest of his like prime like robbed from him, like not even your like you can say yes your body betraying you or whatever because like obviously like
Hmm.
he's fought through like the physical injuries and everything or whatever, and he's he came back and he's still had some of the greatest matches this year that we've ever seen, and
Yeah.
I saw this and I was just like, this is gonna be very hard to talk about. And if he's like never the same wrestler again, sad is an understatement. And you know, I there's back channel stuff I can't really go into, like that, people are telling a friend that's telling a friend that's, telling, people, but
Yeah. Game of
um
telephone has been irresponsible. Yeah. I get
yeah,
you.
and it's like I don't think there was any surgery. I think Dave was talking about it or anything, which is like good, but it really struck me that was like, yo, if he didn't come in when he did, like it would have been a major issue.
Yeah. 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 And that's one of the things when you hear about like people's prognosis with um diverticulitis. Like, for example, my mom had it actually, and I actually mentioned to you, like, when we found out it was diverticulitis with Omega, was like when we were in New Orleans for WrestleMania week in 2018, my mom actually went to urgent care, or not urgent care, but what do you call it? Like the walk-in shit that like when you don't want to go to ER because you don't want to take the bill, but it's same thing. Or
Yeah.
I think it's urgent care, whatever. But she went in and she ended up actually having diverticulitis. And like the thing is, like the recovery time is, if you have no complications, is faster than you think it is if you're a wrestling fan like us and things like the Brock Lesnar thing. But yeah, obviously, you don't know how it is. But they said they caught it early, so it could be that he's out for a month. But compared to, or 2 months or whatever. But compared to out for a year like Brock, I'd take that 9 times out of 10. I think everybody else would too. So we'll see how it goes. We hope that, they say they caught it early. Hopefully, like everything works out well, and we see Kenny Omega healthy and you know if he's healthy back in the ring sooner rather than later. So I kind of I for people that don't know, I was like, that's kind of the thing. It's the Brock thing was rare. That's more of an exception than a rule. So, but that's all we think about because that's all we know. So, hopefully he'll be in better. He'll be in better or health wise in the future, like sooner than later. That's all I can really hope for. And the wrestling part, that's secondary right now. Like the main thing is like that dude was out there in front of a live audience and he was fucked up and he wrestled like a week ago.
Yeah, and he was
Or
set to
2 weeks ago.
wrestle this week as well.
Do you know what the match was supposed to be?
No, I don't know what the match was supposed to be yet, but
Okay.
um, it's just like fuck. Like hopefully, when he's back, and I'm just gonna take that approach with it. He'll be back. This was not the most interesting year for Kenny Omega, right? There was just a lot of like, where does he fit in here? Why? I've talked about his presentation and the other stuff besides the awesome resume and matches that he's given us. And I was just like, well, I guess there's one last thing, like like they've got to, when he comes back, like it's like, yo, he's got to make it to the top. Like they've got to give him the quote unquote one last one last ride to the championship, the Tanahashi Wrestle Kingdom, the Tetsuya Naito right now, like they got to do it. Like this guy, I feel like they've taken him for granted for far too long. And this is another reminder that people can be yanked off of this roster in a fucking heartbeat. And let's keep it a stack. Like I just don't know what the plan has been or was going to keep being with him. So from a wrestling standpoint, that's at least how I feel about it. Obviously, from a human standpoint, hope he beats this thing and he's able to resume training, because that's like usually where you figure it out, like where you're at, because last time he was out like that, he was talking about the training, and he really struggled with that, and he was having setbacks, and he talked about not wanting to go through that again. So hopefully he doesn't retire or anything. So but yeah, that's pretty much it. Other news: Kazuchika Okada.
Hold on. You could do the other news or whatever. It's gonna be funny when you clip this stuff up because we just did a serious topic. You got this fucking Sandman stuff on your face.
Yes.
That's funny. But
yes.
But now move on to talk about Okada.
Yeah.